Hey there, how's it going? davidinark here, back with a BeamNG drive tutorial, and today we're looking at driving assistance. I've seen in several communities some folks asking about things like when your car, if you brake heavily or erratically, that your car will automatically flip itself into neutral. There's some things like, how do I get my vehicle to automatically be in realistic Gearbox behavior instead of arcade? And those are the things we're going to cover in this quick little video. So the first thing you do is, let me get back to the main menu, of course. So from the main menu, go to Options and Gameplay. And from there, you see the section called Driving Assistance. So you have ABS mode, which is realistic only, or you can have ABS always off, even on vehicles that have ABS, or you can always have arcade ABS, whichever you want to play around with. And I recommend checking out the various settings in each of these and playing around with those and see what works best for you. The default gearbox behavior, by default, all of your cars launch with arcade gearbox behavior, meaning auto shifting, that type of thing. Instead, if you want it so that you have to be in control of shifting, then you can do it as realistic. Likewise, you have gearbox safety assistance. If enabled, gearboxes will deny shifts that might cause damage. So again, this is one of those things where you can't shift out of a gear that wouldn't make sense to shift out of / into, because it would basically rip your transmission to shreds, but you can turn that on or off. Same thing with clutch assistant with manual transmission. If enabled, the clutch is automatically controlled. So as you are driving, if you don't have a clutch pedal or don't want to use the clutch pedal, then you can leave this enabled. Otherwise, you can uncheck the clutch assistant and you will have to manually work the clutch. With throttle assistant, manual transmissions can cut the throttle on upshifting and use rev matching where required. Again, this is to protect the engine, of course, but if you don't want that, if you want your vehicle to act realistically, then you would uncheck that. And if you rev the engine while you're changing gears, you're gonna potentially do some damage to your car. If you're of a person who, of the experience that you have, in fact, driven a manual transmission and you've done such a thing, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so there's also oversteer reduction assistant, whether you want that on and how much of that gets applied. Also understeer reduction, whether you want that enabled or not. And again, these are things you can play with. You can also play with how much strength is involved with that. You also have limit steering at high speed, and so this, if you uncheck that, then basically that means is no matter how fast you're going, you can, if you want to flip your wheels around at 90 degrees, go for it. Otherwise, if you check this box, then it won't let you steer past a certain point when you are going at high speed. And then there's also hold steering at low speed, and this is if you are a keyboard player or if you're playing with a gamepad. This is an assistant that helps you control steering, where a lot of people were complaining that when you're playing with a keyboard or mouse, basically a keyboard, not mouse, but a keyboard and a keypad, joypad, they tend to be ones and zeros. When you push the A on your keyboard, you're either pushing A or you're not, right? So, or let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's say you push the left arrow key. If you push the left arrow key on your keyboard, you're pushing it. There's not a feedback mechanism for an arc like there is with a steering wheel or a brake pedal. What this allows you to do is kind of emulate that for keyboards and joypads. Again, check out the settings and play around with them. Get in there and see what all this game can do for you. And technically, simulation. We always call it a game, but it's a simulator. So get in here and play around with the simulator settings, and then you can modify and adjust those to your heart content. So there you go. I'll be going through some of these settings. I know there's an update coming out soon, we assume, because of the various teasers and trailers that have been released. So as we walk through some of these, some of this may change in future versions, but for now, in 0.33, this is driving assistance. Got any other questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories, things you want me to cover? Let me know down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm davidinark. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.